Okay, so I want to talk about Patreon in this channel, and this is going to be a kind of part video response, part kind of look back at since I've been on Patreon, and part nag, I suppose. So if this isn't your kind of thing, if this isn't your bag, then I suppose this is going to sound a little bit like a kind of legal announcement, but other videos are available. So what I wanted to do is Ian Surth had made a video. He's not the first one. I know Sugal Anran's made a couple of critical videos of atheist YouTubers using Patreon. I just wanted to give my kind of account of why I started on Patreon and how it's gone and where I see the sort of where it stands at the moment. So what happened was last summer was a fairly fundamental moment in my life. Well, last year was, and last summer, for several reasons, one of which was that it was the time when I could finally put an end date on when my channel was going to finish, when it was going to become defunct. I wasn't going to cancel it, close it down, delete the videos, but when I would stop making new videos. There have been things in the past that have stopped me making videos, sometimes for financial reasons, sometimes other reasons on top of that, but I've always known that I'm going to be able to come back. But my wife and I for several years have been trying for a baby, and for one reason or another it's not quite worked out. We've gone the IVF route, and my wife and I fell pregnant. Well, actually my wife fell pregnant. I didn't fall pregnant, right? It's my wife that fell pregnant. That I can't class that as baby fat. It's fucking beer, okay? So I can't really class that as baby fat. My wife fell pregnant, and I knew that she was due end of December, start of January. So that was the situation. I knew that with a baby comes a lot of expense and becomes a greater time commitment, and you've got to account for your time. Even the things that you enjoy doing. I loved going out on my bike. I biked around 5,000 plus miles last year. I've biked around 200, I think, so far this year. And that's going to and from work. So I knew things like that were going to change. I also knew that my wife was going to be reducing her work commitment. She was going to be doing less days at work, which was going to mean a substantial reduction in what she'd earn, on top of the fact that babies cost quite a lot of money, it turns out. So I knew all these things were coming up, and I knew that some of the time that I spent doing things that I love and enjoy, one of which is this, that I'd have to actually spend going out and earning more fucking money on top of doing my work as a firefighter. So that was the position that I was in, and I kind of thought, well, yeah, January, it's all going to come to a close. And then I'd seen some other people who'd used Patreon, and I thought, do you know what, there's just a chance, if it works out, that I might be able to continue making, to be able to justify the time that I spent, because I'm earning some money with the time that I spend on YouTube. So I went down that route, and it is now the end of May, the start of June, and I'm still making videos on YouTube. So that's got a class, has it not, as a success. The first few months allowed me to invest in a green screen, it allowed me to invest in softbox lights, it allowed me to invest in some new software, it allowed me to invest in a camcorder, which I've used on a few videos, and additional material to some of the videos that I've made. Since the shit has hit the fan, or it's maybe not hit the fan, but it's pretty much hit everything else in the little chap's room, those kind of expenses have gone. But what it has allowed me to do is to keep justifying my time making videos. So that for me has been a Patreon success story. It doesn't cover the loss of earnings of my wife. I'll let you know, I'm not going to discuss my finances in detail, but it covers about half of the reduction in pay that my wife has had. I don't really know how much the little chap's cost us, really. I don't really want to calculate that particular part of the equation. But what it has done is it's done enough to allow me to keep justifying spending some time making videos. So if you're watching this video and you can't fucking stand me, you've got my patrons to blame for that. But if you don't, if you enjoy watching my videos, then I have my patrons to thank for the fact that I'm still making videos. If you enjoy my videos, you have my patrons to thank for still making videos. It's still a scary position for me to be in, I'll be frank, because I don't want to put nags, and I will not put nags on the start or the end of my videos. I always put a little line in the footnote, and that is it. But that's really not sufficient to get many new patrons, and I'm kind of aware that as the number of patrons diminish and the amount diminishes, that's going to affect the amount of time that I can justify spending on videos, which will diminish either the number of pledge videos that I can make or the quality of those pledge videos that can make, and it becomes a kind of vicious circle spiraling downwards. So I'm kind of aware of that. So I think I've got to do something proactive every now and again to just kind of encourage people who do like my material, who watch it regularly. If you have a couple of dollars and you'd be happy to chip them in, please do so, because I do rely on that now to justify the time that I spend making my videos. So it is a little bit scary in that sense. What I aim to do on YouTube is to keep going for as long as I can, and Patreon is going to be a key component in that. In terms of this channel going forwards, Patreon will continue to be absolutely fundamental in it staying afloat, and so I'm going to use the same model that I've used with Patreon. I accept donations on a per video basis. Let me explain that, because I assumed everybody understood how that works. That doesn't mean that if I make 6 videos in a month that I take donations for 6 videos. I choose which videos I make to set as pledged and which videos I choose to set as unpledged. I've made a pledge that I'm maybe getting a bit confused saying pledge so many times. I've set a pledge that I will never set more than 4 videos as pledged. Never have more than 4 videos in a month attracting donations. So that means that if you, for every dollar that you choose to pledge, that it's basically going to cost you about $4. So if you pledge $1 a video, it will cost you about $4 a month maximum. If I don't make 4 pledge videos, then it won't cost you $4, obviously. That's the model I've used. That's what's kept me in the game since January, and that's what I'm going to stick with. In terms of content, I'm going to continue going down the 2 strands that I've gone down. I am a YouTube atheist. That is how I started on YouTube. If you look at all my early videos, I'm a YouTube atheist. I'm a YouTube atheist because I enjoy the discussion, I enjoy engaging, I enjoy the debate. The fascinating arguments and discussions that can take place is what drew me in to YouTube. I also happen to think, and this is what my anti-theism consists of, that you're better off believing the facts than believing a whole load of mythological guff. So I have no problem in proselytizing my atheism the same way that Christians and Muslims proselytize their monotheism. No problem in that whatsoever. I don't feel kind of ashamed by that in any way, and I will continue to make proper, genuine YouTube atheist content, as you will see. Maybe not the minute this video goes out, but within a couple of hours of this video going out, a video looking at what I think is the worst argument that Christians can ever make. And the other thing that I will do, largely again because it's something I enjoy doing, is keep chiming in on these socio-political issues. I know that's how some people discovered my channel. I know that's the videos they prefer, and some of the subjects I really enjoy talking about. And you know, it kind of started with the Atheism Plus thing, and that's died a death. What I've noticed is if you go out there and talk to people in the real world, that their views are generally quite moderate and quite central and follow a kind of normal distribution curve with quite a big peak in the middle. And it's as if the online world smashes that peak down a bit and puffs it up at the edges. So these extreme positions are overrepresented, perhaps because people tend to err towards the extreme position that's closest towards them. Perhaps, and I say this a little bit more cynically, because that's a much easier target for the other side. Who do you go for? Do you go for the moderate on the other side, or do you go for the extremist who makes your job so much fucking simpler? And I can't say that that isn't something that I haven't done in the past myself. So where my positions lie just to one side, I want to keep making those positions, because the chances are that there's not that many people there's not as many people making those positions as there are people watching those videos that have those positions, it would seem. It's as if the videographers and the bloggers don't really match the community of people that are watching the videos and reading the blog. So I'm going to continue on those two strands, much as I have done, and if you enjoy my material, I hope that I'll be able to keep making it for as many years as I possibly can. Part of that depends on what I get through Patreon, and I just hope that that doesn't die a steady death, and my channel doesn't die a steady death with it. I'll leave you a link to my Patreon in the bottom. If you want to donate, then donate. If you just want to keep enjoying my videos, then of course you're free to do so. I always enjoy your comments on this video and on every other video. If you've got this far, thank you for watching, and bye for now.